Yeah, because we started walking down.
On September 11th, 2001, farmers Kenneth and Nelda Brubaker
I go with Sonny and she goes with Shirley.
were on their way to Shanksville, Pennsylvania to pick up parts for their tractor.
We heard on the radio that there was a plane coming, yeah, but they didn't say it was up here, you know. We didn't know it was close to Shanksville, you know.
So close, in fact, Sonny and Shirley just happened to be driving by the right place at the wrong time.
We heard an explosion, we see smoke coming up. There's fire coming out of the hole yet, you know. The trees were on fire, the firemen came, the tops of the trees were burning and stuff. I guess from the jet fuel, probably.
The Brubakers were among the first to arrive at the location where United Flight 93 fell from the sky.
There was some much debris in the trees, you know. We thought it was paper, but I guess it was luggage and stuff, you know.
That day, police quickly dispersed the small crowd gathered near the crash site. The Brubakers left, returning only once in the last 20 years. But something about this year compelled them to make a meaningful visit.
We just wanted to come and see because it happened 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's hitting me now. It was a crazy day, you know.
I experienced the events of September 11th with Ben Miles, who gathered footage of the crash scene that day for our TV news reports.
That crater you see behind me, where all of those workers are.
For the first time since the days surrounding the tragedy 20 years ago,
It's the same, but it's not.
Miles and I visited the Flight 93 National Memorial together, recalling the biggest story of our careers,
I think that I did read that.
but the smallest story of that day, amid all that also transpired in New York and the Pentagon.
We were out here in the field and doing our thing, and just, I don't know, that day, I'm sure people were glued to the TV all day, and I wasn't.
The public wouldn't fully know until much later that the 40 passengers and crew members on Flight 93 tried to prevent the plane from reaching the U.S. Capitol, its presumed target.
It takes time for all this facts to come out. There was a documentary or a movie put out about this, and I remember watching that, and then I just felt really connected to those people. And that it was just that connection of, well, I was here that day when, not too long after that really terrible thing happened to them and their families.
Miles joined those families for a candlelight vigil to honor their memory near the location of their eternal rest. A place of honor, also commemorated in official 20th anniversary ceremonies attended by dignitaries, including former President George W. Bush.
These Americans were brave, strong, and united in ways that shocked the terrorists.
And Vice President Kamala Harris. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden also visited, placing a wreath and walking the hallowed grounds with Flight 93 families.
This would have been the closest you had ever been.
Yes.
For Ben Miles, time hasn't made it any easier to grapple with what happened that Tuesday in September 20 years ago.
I just moved on, and you don't really think about it like every year for a day, for a little bit you think about it. But we went into the building, and they have all the displays. And yeah, it just hit me, It was just crazy time, It was a terrible day.
Just one police officer came.
The Brubakers say this visit to the Flight 93 National Memorial might be their last. Both Sonny and Shirley are ailing with cancer, and part of the motivation behind their visit is not only to pay tribute, but to find answers.
What was your idea of crashing these planes? What were they trying to prove?
I think that's the question that a lot of people ask.
Questions that linger decades after the attacks that transformed America.
That's the trees beyond the crater.
And the world. Kane Fairbaugh, VOA News, Shanksville, Pennsylvania.